What's up guys and welcome to this new video. Today I want to address a specific kind of topic, and the reason why I want to do that is because I want to start sharing more personal stories actually about my career and about the problems and challenges that I actually went through during my career. One of the things that came on top of my mind when I started thinking about things that that I encountered during my career, which was a big problem for me at that moment, was the choice to leave school and to actually go into music full time without knowing what could happen, if it went well, if it went bad, or whatever. To me, it was one big period of fear and a little bit of anxiety, maybe. But eventually, I think it's a really important. It has been a really important moment to me and my career, and that decision led me to the point where I'm at right now. So that's the thing I want to talk about today, a bit more into depth, actually. Let's just start at the beginning. We're talking about the period. By the way, sorry for the cough. It's just a little bit small thing I still have from being sick, but whatever. Let's just take back things to the beginning. I'm talking about the period where I was about 21 years old. I was a DJ. I already played for 5 years, 6 years. I started playing at local bars, local clubs. I did a lot of wedding parties, children parties, all those kind of things actually. And after years and years of playing at those parties, I decided to start making music. Because I just thought, you know what, this DJing thing is cool, but I would like to see the crowd reacting to my own stuff. So not only mashups and bootlegs that I did, but actually own productions. Luckily, I had a cousin. He was my back cousin. I think it's called back cousin in English. Which was he was already making music at that moment. He was studying SAE at that moment, so he knew quite a lot about music production, music mixing and mastering and stuff. And I didn't know anything. And at that moment, it wasn't quite normal to download your plugins or those sample banks on the internet because there simply weren't that much things available. I'm pretty old, you know. I'm turning 30 this year, so I'm old. Anyway, at that moment when I started, to me it was I had a privilege because I had a nephew who could help me with music production, and every time I hit a wall in the production process, I could just call him and say, like, you know what, I don't know how to sidechain, and I know I want this, I want it to be like this, but I don't know how to actually get there. And then he turned up in my studio and actually explained to me how it works. So I think for you guys it's way easier because you guys have YouTube, my videos, there's a lot of other guys posting videos with tutorials about how to do stuff and what's the best way to do this and that. So that's your win, make use of that. I had my nephew, you guys have the internet and YouTube, so that's a clear win for you guys. But anyway, at that moment, he actually helped me with my production because DJing wasn't simply enough for me. I wanted to play my own tracks in my sets, and I just wanted to see what the reaction of the crowd was. Started to make my own music, and actually, at that moment, I just left high school. So I had to go to the next level of school. I'm not sure what it's in English, but in the Netherlands we have this next kind of school. I had to make a decision for the rest of my life, actually. That's how it felt to me at that moment, you know, like you finish high school, HAVO for the Dutch people listening, and that's the moment where you have to make a decision. Which thing am I going to do? Am I going to be a farmer? Do I want to be a baker? Am I going to make music? Am I going to be a gym teacher? All those choices you have to make. And I simply didn't know what I wanted. I did know that I wanted to do something in sports because I liked sports, but it's not that I thought, like, you know, this is something I could do for the rest of my life. And at that moment, music was doing pretty well. I got a lot of gigs and I liked DJing and I liked music. So I thought, you know what, let's just try music. And first I did another school, but I just skipped that after 1 month, so don't bother that. But at that moment I thought, like, you know what, let's give this music thing a try. And I decided to apply for the Rock Academy in the Netherlands, which is a pretty high education level of music school here in the Netherlands. It's the school where Hartwell went, Frank Rizardo, Firebeats, all those guys went to that school. So I just thought, you know what, let's just go there too. And the fun thing is, before you get to that school, you have to apply and you have to do a test and stuff because you have to be at a certain level. And the first year, I just got kicked out because I wasn't at a high level at that moment. And now looking back, they were right because the track were pretty bad, actually. But I was just making music for about a year, maybe 2. So yeah, at that moment, they declined my request. And I was like, okay, now I don't have a school again for the upcoming year. And that's where I decided, you know what, I really want to do this music thing. I really want to go to this school. So you know what, I'm just going to spend the rest of the upcoming year working to get to that school. That's what I did. Eventually, after that year, I did get entered. I did enter that school. And the fun thing is, at that moment, so the year I spent to get applied to that school, to enter that school, that's actually the moment where I started building my career, in hindsight. Because at that moment, I didn't have any idea. I just made a lot of music every day. I just didn't have a side job or whatever. I just worked on music all day, every day. And I actually started working with Epster, DJ Epster right now. We did a lot of stuff together in the beginning. You can look up the tracks on YouTube if you want to have a good laugh. They're all on YouTube. So JoeySuki and Epster were the thing at that moment. But like I said, at that moment I started building my career. I actually started releasing music on Sneakers Music, which was one of the biggest labels at that moment, house music labels. And because I released my music on that label, I got requests for gigs, especially in the Netherlands. So no international gigs, but especially in the Netherlands. And yeah, things started rolling for me. So that's the same thing that happened at the time where I got entered to the Rock Academy. When I got to that school, I noticed that a lot of things on that school actually hold me back from going further into my DJ career, because I needed to do music theory, music history, all those things on the school which they were obligated to teach. Of course, I get it, but they were just not that necessary to me, in my opinion. And I needed to spend a lot of time working on learning music theory, music history, all those kind of things. And just a fun fact, I'm really bad with books. I have this gift that I can read a whole book and I can't remember anything. So if you want to teach me something, you just have to let me do something, and I will never forget it for the rest of my life. But a book just isn't the way for me to absorb, to consume like information. So yeah, anyway, I needed to do a lot of music theory that year and a lot of thinking about music history that year. And I did the smallest part of that school was like 20% was production lessons, which were really useful to me, and music theory lessons, which were really useful to me because I couldn't read a note before I entered the school. I always did like music production. I already released tracks, but I all created them on my hearing. I just listened to the tracks and thought like, is this something I could dance to? Is this something I'd like to listen to? But I never knew how to play keys or what chords were right or what fit with vocals. So all my first tracks actually were, pretty simple actually. Just beats and maybe a bleep or whatever, but no melodies, no vocals, because I simply didn't know how to work with them. After I went to the Rock Academy, I started... my production started evolving because I knew how to create chords and I knew how to combine them with vocals and stuff. So my tracks became more melodical actually. 2021, this was the age where I'm at that school. So my career was going upwards. School was kind of holding me back at that moment. At least it felt to me like they were holding me back, because through them I needed to focus on this theoretical part. And everything in my heart told me that I needed to go on the practical side and just go and see what happened. That was the big struggle to me, because my heart told me to go left, and the school and societies, also my parents and friends, told me to go right, because everyone in my surroundings told me you have to get that paper. If you don't finish your school, you won't be successful in life. That's what everyone has been telling me in the last few years. And that's the part that made me afraid, actually, because everything inside me told me to do this, but everyone around me told me to do that. And it felt really weird for me to actually go into all the other ones' opinions, all the other people's opinions. But it just really felt like the right thing to do at that moment. And it was really hard for me to make that decision for myself and to just neglect the other people's opinion and to choose for myself. And I think now looking back at that period, I think that actually has been the first time in my life where I actually made a decision based on what I want and what I thought was the best for me at that moment. Of course, me making that decision is one thing, but I also had parents, and my parents wanted me to be successful and finish school and stuff. That's what all parents want, right? So I had a talk with my parents and with the teachers as well to say, like, you know what, I this is what I feel. I feel like I need to leave school and do this musical thing on my own and see how far I could come on my own. And my teacher said, like, you know what, if you think you can do it, you have to do it, because networking and stuff is the most important thing. So that was useful to me. Then I started talking to my parents, and luckily they said to me, Joey, if you think you're actually able to do all of these things on your own and you don't need this school, we believe in you and just do it. But there's just one but. And then I got afraid, like, okay, what's going to be the but thing? They told me, you can quit school, but you have to work every day to become a bigger DJ. And we want to see you work on your career hard enough, because it's not just quitting school and relaxing and laying in the sun and going out. And you have to work and you have to make sure that you're building somewhere. Of course, we understand that you're not going to be successful in a year or whatever, but we want you to see putting effort into this career. And then I was like, this is so cool. My parents actually gave me the opportunity to just quit school and follow my dreams. So to me, that made my decision way more easier. And I instantly decided to quit school. And what really helped me is that in the end, I actually finalized and finished all of the parts of the school except for music history. So the school came to me and said, like, Joey, we can't let you go to the second year because you failed that test of music history, and if we need you to finish that test, because otherwise we can't let you pass to the next year, and you have to redo the test or redo the full year. And I was like, you know what, I don't really believe in this thing. My parents are supporting me, so you know what, I'm just gonna leave it right here, otherwise I'm just gonna waste more time, another year, just for music history. And I don't really believe in that thing. So that's the moment where I decided to leave school and went all in for my passion and for my dream, which was becoming a full-time artist. Funny thing that happened at that moment, looking back at that decision-making moment, like, I really appreciated people's opinion in my environment, like parents and teachers and friends, but deep inside my heart, I knew what the right decision for me was. I knew what was best for me. So I think the thing you could learn out of this is it's important to listen to people around you, because they just want to protect you and they just want you to be happy. So they want to protect you for all the bad things. But sometimes you are the only one who knows yourself in the best way possible, and you know what you're capable of and what you want in life. So I'm not saying never listen to your parents again or don't listen to your teachers, but sometimes you have to make a decision for yourself. If you really believe that you're able to make a living out of music, but you just need time to actually spend time working on that career, and you have a side job or you have a school that you're not really interested in, that's holding you back from that dream, you have to make a decision. It's either one or the other, but you can't really do both. And it's about making decisions and conquering that fear and just doing it. And the thing is, what I also wanted to tell you is, what if it goes wrong? Let's just talk about that for a moment. What if it goes wrong? What if you leave school or leave your side job and things just backfire on you? Let's say 1 year, 1 year in the future, you left school, you left your main job, and shit just doesn't work. What's the worst thing that happened to you at that moment? You either go back to school, or you either find another job. But at least you tried to maintain and to build a career out of your music thing. You will never regret it because you tried. And that's the most valuable thing, in my opinion. You never want to have regret of something that you didn't do as a person. So especially if you're a young person, especially if you're like 20 years old, 25 years old, 18 years old, if fear is holding you back, like what if it doesn't work out? That's no reason to not do it, because you can always go back to school. You're so young. You still have so much time left in your life. Just try it out for 1 or 2 years. See if you're actually making progress in your career. And if it doesn't work out, you can always go back to school, or you can always go back to working at another job. But at least you tried. And if it does work out, you actually built your own artist career, and now you can start building to the next level. So it's a win-win to me, and I get it. It's really scary to make that decision, but if this is something you want, if this is something you think about all day, if this is something you wake up with and you go to bed with, just do it. Please do it. And if you're in doubt or whatever, just reach out to me and maybe we can talk about it, or I don't know, but please don't make the mistake of not following your dreams because someone else said it was a dumb idea. That's the thing I want to leave to you today. If anyone is at this moment in life where he's encountering this kind of problem, feel free to reach out to me. You can send me an email through my website, or you can just reach out to me on social media. Maybe I can help you make that decision, but please learn from my story and please learn from my experiences. I've been there. I know how hard it can be, but I'm so happy that I made the decision at that moment, because it made me such a stronger person. And luckily it worked for me, because I just needed that time to build my career to the next level, to actually make a living out of music. Because if you want to create something, or if you want to be successful in something, you have to spend time in it. And if the side job is holding you back, or school's holding you back, and that doesn't have your interest, please leave and go follow your dream. See you guys at a next episode. And if you guys have any input about other subjects, deeper subjects that you guys want me to talk about, let me know in the comment section. And thanks again for checking out my content. I really appreciate it, guys. See you guys next time. Have a good day.